हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादः शंकरं लोकशंकरम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शंकरं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ओम 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 नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. ओम सहना भवतु सहना भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। We shall chant the mantras of the first Anuvaka. Om Brahmavida apnoti param tadeshabhyukta satyam jnanamanantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman so oshnute sarvan kamaan saha ब्रह्मणा विपश्चितेति तस्माद्वात्मन आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद् वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरापः अद्य पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधिभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः Sava esha purushon narasamayah tassedameva shiraha ayam dakshina pakshaha ayam uttara pakshaha ayam atma idam puchham pratishtha tadappesha shloko bhavati. So we are seeing this Brahmananda Valli of the Taittiriya Upanishad. It begins with this beautiful mantra, which is like a sutra. Brahma vidapnoti param. The knower of Brahma attains the supreme. Attains the supreme. What is supreme? That Brahma itself is supreme. So knower of Brahma attains Brahma. And what happens if we attain Brahma? Having attained the supreme, having attained Brahma, one becomes free of all bondage, of all sorrow, of all suffering. One attains moksha. So moksha can be attained only by knowing Brahma. But here one has to understand that knowing Brahma is not just gaining theoretical understanding of Brahma. Just by having bauddhik jnana, intellectual appreciation or intellectual knowledge of Brahma itself will not be sufficient. But it is required. So the first step is to intellectually know Brahma. Just as we know other things of this world. And what is the meaning of knowing something? That type of vritti happens in our buddhi. When I say I know the flower, the thought of the flower happens. And the thought of all that is associated with the flower happens. Then I say that I know the flower. So it happens in our buddhi. We have this antakarana, mana buddhi, chitta, ahankar. So buddhi has got this capacity to understand. When that thought happens in the buddhi, then that understanding happens, knowledge happens. So here it is said that we have to know Brahma. So for knowing Brahma, we have to know the lakshana, the characteristics of Brahma. Because knowing something, we can know something with the help of the characteristics and with the help of the praman. When we have the proper praman, proper means of knowing, and if we know the characteristics, then we gain that knowledge. Like for example, if I am blindfolded and I am made to smell some flower. So if I can recognize that fragrance without touching the flower, without seeing the flower, if I can recognize that fragrance, then I can know, I can say that yes, it smells like a rose. So nose, or the sense of smelling, is the praman. And recognizing the typical characteristic of that fragrance is also required. Then I gain that knowledge. Similarly, if we want to gain the knowledge of Brahma, we should know the characteristics of Brahma. So the characteristics of Brahma is given here as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Three terms are given: Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So with the help of these three terms, we have to recognize Brahma, who is present in this world itself. Brahma is all pervading. Brahma is the self of all. So Brahma is present in this world itself. So with the help of these characteristics, we have to recognize that Brahma. And when we recognize, when we gain that knowledge, that jnanam of Brahma happens, then thereafter we have to contemplate and gain that conviction that this Brahma am I. And after gaining this conviction, we have to constantly meditate, means strengthen this conviction, gain abidance in this conviction. It's also called jnana nishtha. So when we gain that abidance, our theoretical knowledge becomes our direct experience. That which we have understood as Brahma intellectually is directly realized as my own self. That anubhuti happens. That anubhuti itself is also called avagati. So the knowledge should culminate in this avagati. Then alone we will attain that param. Then only it is said we will attain Brahma. Then only we will gain moksha. In Brahma Sutra also Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji talking about this knowledge, he says it should culminate in avagati. ज्ञानेन हि प्रमाणेन अवगंतुम इष्टम ब्रह्म. That Brahma one can realize, gain knowledge, gain that experience, first by gaining that knowledge. Then through nididhyasana, we gain direct experience of that Brahma. That aham brahmasmi anubhuti, aparoksha anubhuti happens. So these three lakshanas which are given here are very interesting and very subtle. See, with our intellect, with our other pramanas like pratyaksha, anuman, upaman, arthapatti, these are various pramans to gain knowledge. Through these pramans, we gain the knowledge of this world. Mainly through pratyaksha, through our senses, we come to know about the shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, about this world. Then through anuman, through arthapatti, through upamanam, we come to know more and more about this world. So when we study this world, we come to understand that though there are many different objects in this world. The world which we experience has these five elements, but those five elements have transformed themselves into variety of beings, means bodies, and variety of objects. So when this world is observed, one thing we come to see, which is common in this world, wherever we go, whatever we experience, one thing is common, that whatever we experience keeps on changing. The experience of the world doesn't remain same, it keeps on changing. The world which you experienced a minute ago is no more there now. And this world which you are experiencing now will not be there in future. Means every aspect of this world changes. Though the world continues to exist, the world continues to exist, but it continues to change also. Everything changes. Even a tiny little atom changes. If you observe our body, the body undergoes constant change. If we observe our mind also undergoes constant change. So change is the very nature of this world. But it is constantly existing. The world constantly exists. In the waking, we experience the world with the help of our senses. In the dream, we experience the world projected by our mind. In the deep sleep, the world remains as Sat, as that Brahma. So world is constantly there. Even when pralaya happens, the world remains as Brahma. And when the creation happens, the world is seen in variety of names and forms. And it constantly changes. So that which changes, that which is there, but constantly change, is called asatyam or anritam. That which constantly change, though existing, is called asatyam or anritam. In English, generally they translate it as unreal, but that is not a proper translation. Unreal, we mean non-existent, but this is not non-existent. It is existing, but changing. Therefore, the Sanskrit term has to be understood properly. Asatyam. Then, but in this asatyam world itself, Brahma is present. And that Brahma is Satyam. Means it is present, but not changing. So there is something in this world, though it is constantly changing, there is something in this world which doesn't change. And that is Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan says that that Brahma is present in this Vinashi, in this constantly changing world as Avinashi. Avinashi tu tadviddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Understand that as Avinashi, free from all destruction, which pervades everything. Means even if you see, let us say, a flower, though the flower changes, but there is that Brahma present in this flower without undergoing any change. See, for example, my finger. If you look at my finger, what is it? It's a finger. Now what is it? Now also it is a finger. Now also it is finger. But it is moving. It is moving. So there is movement. And that movement keep on changing. There is change in that movement. But in whatever movement it is, the finger is always there. Finger never change. Finger remains same. Similarly, the world is like the finger. Sorry, the Brahma is like finger. And the world is like the movement of this finger. If our attention is on the movement, we might miss the finger. If our attention is in the world, means on the names and forms, we will miss Brahma. So while thinking about the world, while observing the world, while meditating on Brahma, we have to just remove all names and all forms, and that which remains is Brahma. That is Satyam. So Satyam is understood by negating Asatyam, by removing that Asatyam from our buddhi. See, when I know, let us say I know this flower, I know this flower not only the changing flower, but also I know that which doesn't change. So knowledge of the flower and knowledge of that existence happen together. So knowledge of the flower happens, I know the color and form, and the knowledge of that existence happens as existence, as is. So when the thought of the world comes and you have to recognize that Brahma, focus your attention only on ease, on that existence. Is. That is Satyam. When we again observe this world, we find that this world is inert, Jadam. Jadam means it doesn't know itself. Flower doesn't know itself. A stone doesn't know itself. And any action which happens in that stone is brought about by someone else, by a sentient being. So that which doesn't have, in order to bring that in order to have that action, let us say a pot is there at one place. If I have to move it to another place, then that movement happens in a particular direction and it happens with a particular speed. So when I am moving this pot, I am giving it a direction and I am also giving it a speed. So I, with my knowledge, gives direction and speed to that pot. So without knowledge, action cannot happen. There must be a knowledge behind every action which happens in the inert world. There must be a sentient being bringing about that action. Even when the air moves, a sentient being is there which make it move. That sentient being is called the air devata, Vayu devata. Even if the fire moves, there is a Agni devata. So jada, inert, is that which doesn't have any sentiency. An opposite of jada is sentiency or knowledge. So Brahma is of the nature of knowledge. Brahma is not inert. Brahma is knowledge. See, when we gain knowledge, let us say I gain the knowledge of this flower. I say I know the flower. I have the knowledge of flower. Knowledge of flower. Then I know this pot. I say I have knowledge of pot. So all the knowledge which we gain, it has got an adjective, something about which we gain that knowledge. So knowledge is as though bound by that object which we know. So flower knowledge, pot knowledge. But there is something called knowledge by itself, without any limitation of any object, objectless knowledge, pure knowledge, knowledge per se. That knowledge per se is Brahma, knowledge by itself, not knowledge of this thing or that thing, but knowledge by itself. So Jnanam. So Brahma is Satyam, Jnanam, and Anantam. Anantam means infinite. Anantam means not limited by anything, not limited by space, time, and object. It's called Anantam. So when we when we contemplate on these three terms, then what happens? And try to understand it intellectually. Then what happens? Then from our intellect, all that is asatyam, jadam, and parichinnam. Parichinnam is limited against opposite of infinite, opposite of anantam, limited. So all that is asatyam, jadam, parichinnam is negated, and what remains is satyam, jnanam, anantam, brahma. This is the contemplation on Brahma through negation, through neti, through negation of asatyam, jadam, parichinnam. If you want to see my finger, you have to shift your attention from the movement. Then you know the finger. If your attention is on the movement, then the finger is not recognized. Like we have the ceiling fan. It has got three blades and it is moving. And when you look at the fan, you see it like a disc because the movement is so fast that we don't see the separate blades. We only see it as a disc. But when you switch off that fan, then you can see the three blades distinctly. Similarly, when our attention is on the names and forms of this world, then our attention is not there on Brahma, which is also present in this world. So while looking at this world, or just while meditating, remove all that is asatyam jadam parichinnam. Keep the buddhi alert, awake, and remove all that is changing. And what remains unchanging is satyam. Negate all that is jadam. What remains is jnanam. Remove all that is parichinnam. What remains is anantam. So through this contemplation on these three terms, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, we come to recognize Brahma. But very interesting. What is interesting? This Brahma is also our own self. Brahma is our own self. So knowing Brahma is nothing but knowing our own self. Otherwise, why should we know Brahma? Brahma is our own self. But everyone knows their own self. See, without saying I don't experience or I don't do anything. Without knowing myself, I don't move forward in this world. So if everyone knows their own self, then why should we bother to know this Brahma, know our own self? The Shastras, they say, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says in Brahma Sutra Bhashya, that though everyone thinks that they know their self, they really do not know their self. Though everyone says and believes they know their self, they really don't know their self. See, when somebody asks me, who am I start describing my body. I am a man, I am a human being. I am young, I am old. Then I describe my mind also. I am happy to see you. I describe buddhi also, that I have this knowledge, I have done this, I have got this degree, I have gained this knowledge. So generally people, they identify with their body, their mind, their senses, their sense of doership, their sense of enjoyership, and that is what they think they are. We, by mistake, consider ourselves the body, mind, intellect, the knower, doer, enjoyer. But this is a false understanding about ourselves, which is keeping us bound to this samsara. So the Shastras say, first you understand this Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, and then recognize this Brahma as your own self. You are not the body because body is asatyam, changing. You are not the mind, intellect because they are also changing, they are asatyam. Also the body, mind, intellect, they are all jadam. Also the body, mind, intellect are parichinnam, limited. So they are not Brahma. Though Brahma is present in the body, mind, intellect, but what you see as the body, mind, intellect and their nature is not the nature of Brahma. So what I have understood as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, I have to understand that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma am I. And that is how the Anubhuti happens. Because every one of us, we have the experience of ourselves. But we don't have the proper understanding about ourselves. Therefore, when we go to sleep, we experience ourselves. When we talk about our deep sleep, when we wake up and we talk about our deep sleep, we say, I existed there. So, existence, I was existing in deep sleep. I say, I did not know anything, but I slept happily. So, there is knowledge also. I was there as knowledge. Because of that only, when I wake up, I know about it. And in deep sleep, there was no limitations of any kind. No objects, no time, no space was limiting me. So all the characteristics of Brahma as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, I see it in myself, in my own inner self, Pratyagatma. So once we gain intellectual appreciation of Brahma as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, we have to assert this Brahma as our own self. Know our own self as Brahma, because that is what the Upanishads say. Upanishad has categorically given this knowledge that Atma is Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. Tattvamasi. Aham Brahmasmi. So we have to assert our own self as Brahma. That is the process of Nididhyasan. Nididhyasan happens after gaining conviction through Mananam that I am Brahma. So Brahma is understood by contemplating and recognizing this Brahma in the world, by negating all the characteristics of the world. Like this pot. What is this pot? This pot is nothing but clay. In order to understand this clay, we have to remove all the characteristics of this pot. Pot has got a shape. Pot is having a form. but clay is not a form. Pot is clay, but clay is not pot. All even numbers are numbers, but all numbers are not even numbers. The characteristics, the world is Brahma, but Brahma is not world. So contemplating on this world with the lakshanas given of Brahma, we have to recognize Brahma. And then through faith in the Shastras which say that you are Brahma, we have to assert our own self as Brahma. That is the Nididhyasana. And that Nididhyasana leads to experience, aparoksha anubhuti. And that is what the Upanishad here further says, कि यो वेद निहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन सोष्णुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चितेति. So the first statement was Brahmavid apnoti param. The knower of Brahma attains supreme. The second statement was Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That Brahma is Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam. And now the Upanishad says कि one who knows this Brahma. And where can we know this Brahma? Brahma is all pervading. Brahma is everywhere. Where can we know this Brahma? Here it says कि यो वेद निहितं गुहायाम. One who knows it present or hidden in the guha, in the cave. The Brahma is hidden in the cave. Sorry? What is this cave now? This cave is nothing but our own buddhi, our antakarana. Our buddhi is indicated as a cave. Shankaracharya writes in his Bhashya, Guhayam Guhate Samvaranarthasya Nigudha Asyam Jnana Neya Jnatru Padarthaha iti Guha Buddhihi. This Guha is nothing but Buddhi, our own Buddhi. So we have to recognize this Brahma in our own Buddhi. Brahma is present in our body. Brahma is present in our mind. Brahma is present in all the objects of this world. But we can recognize Brahma only in our Buddhi. Only in the Buddhi we can recognize Brahma. Though it is present everywhere, but in order to recognize Brahma, we have to approach the Buddhi. And what is this Buddhi? Buddhi is indicated like a guha, like a cave. And in this cave, it's hidden. The Brahma is as though hidden there. Shankaracharya writes, कि ज्ञान नेय ज्ञातृ पदार्थाः निगूढ़ा. This Buddhi is called a cave because in this cave, Jnana, Neya and Natru padarthaha nigudhaha. All these things are hidden there. What jnana, knowledge is hidden in the buddhi. All that we know is present in the buddhi. But Shankaracharya also says all the objects, mean neya, that which is known, they are also in the buddhi. And the knower, one who expresses as the knower, is also in the buddhi. I, the knower, is expressing through the buddhi. All the knowledge is expressing through the buddhi. And the known world is also present in the buddhi. See, our buddhi is part of the cosmic buddhi only. There is a cosmic buddhi, total buddhi, and our buddhi is part of that. For example, your room. In your room, you have, let us say, your bed, a table, chair, some cupboard, television. So many items are there in your room. So where are they, all these items? They are present in the space inside your room. The space in your room is giving accommodation to all these items to stay. But in the same space, the entire galaxy is also present, but not in the space of the room. The room is as though limiting the space, but in that infinite space, all the galaxies are present. Similarly, our buddhi is as though limited by our body, our mind. It is a limited buddhi. But if you remove all this limitation, that in that buddhi itself, the entire world exists. In the buddhi of Hiranyagarbha, the entire world exists. So we have to recognize this Brahma in the buddhi by removing all limitations of the buddhi. So the more and more we meditate on this Brahma and remove the notion that I am a limited body, limited mind, limited person and all, then this buddhi will start identifying with the total buddhi. Our buddhi is not limited to this body, but actually the buddhi is like space. Buddhi is like space, it is also infinite. Buddhi is not made up of the outer material. Buddhi is subtler than these five elements also. See, I'm going into all this minute detail, that because all of you have heard my pravachans on other Upanishads also, so you know what I am talking about. Some of you might have forgotten what I am talking about. So you should also go through other Upanishads to get the hang of it. So here the Upanishad says that you meditate on this Brahma, or you can know this Brahma in the cave of your buddhi. Means you can know this Brahma in the buddhi. But further it says, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoma. In the space, the supreme space, in the supreme space, not the physical space, but there is the supreme space of buddhi. Means one has to drop all the sense of limitations of the buddhi also. When I meditate and contemplate on Brahma, then even the limitations of the buddhi has to be dropped. See, just as there is, when I open my eyes, I see this world and this vast space is there. Similarly, if you close your eyes and just focus on your buddhi, that buddhi is also vast, limitless, like space. The buddhi is also vast, limitless, like space. Because we constantly think of little objects and little things of our life, it seems as though the buddhi is limited. We have created a concept of limitation in the buddhi. The buddhi is vast, unlimited, like space. Parame Vyoman, supreme space. So, in that supreme space of buddhi, we can recognize that Brahma as our own self. So, in the beginning, we use our buddhi to understand Brahma. Then, when we meditate on that Brahma as our self, all the limitations are negated, and even the limitation of the buddhi gets negated, and we come to recognize that infinite Brahma as our own self. So, yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoma. Upanishad says that one who knows, a rare few know this Brahma. In Gita also Bhagavan says, among millions of people who walk on this path, only rare few come to recognize that Brahma. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vitti tattvataha. These rare few come to know me. So one who knows that Brahma, yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam, hidden in the cave of the heart, cave of the buddhi. And what is this cave of the buddhi? It is supreme space. In that space of the buddhi, one can recognize this Brahma. See, when we meditate on something, when we think about something, our our mind, our intellect also start identifying with it. Like nowadays, we keep on listening to various types of news. So when you listen to those news, you identify with that incident which happened. They describe something, and your mind also start feeling and start experiencing that. If there is a sad news, you also feel sad. If there is some frightening news, you also feel frightened. Our buddhi tends to identify with whatever it thinks and meditates upon. So when you start meditating on Brahma, which is vast, which is limitless, which is pure existence, which is pure knowledge, then your buddhi also becomes like that. Buddhi also becomes satyam, jnanam, anantam. Vast, limitless. And that leads to that anubhuti, that aham brahmasmi. So yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman soshnute sarvan kaman saha brahmana vipasthiteti. Further, the Upanishad says that one who realizes this Brahma becomes Brahma. Brahmana vipasthita iti becomes that Brahma which is all knowledge, becomes that Brahma which is sarvajna. And as Brahma, he experiences all desires at the same time. So ashnute saha ashnute, he enjoys or experiences sarvan kama, all desires, saha, instantly at the same time. See, generally we experience things in this world one after other. We put forth effort, then we get the result, we enjoy it, then it comes to an end. Then we put forth effort, we get another result, we enjoy it, then it comes to an end. Even if we acquire a lot of punya, we go to Swarga, we enjoy, then it comes to an end. There are infinite beings out there who have infinite different types of experiences. So here the Upanishad says that one who knows Brahma, he gains the experiences of fulfillment of all desires. When our desires are fulfilled, we become happy. So this enlightened person gains the fulfillment of all the desires, infinite desires of all beings at the same time. Means, in short, he gains supreme happiness, supreme bliss, infinite bliss. So, soshnute sarvan kaman saha brahmana vipasthiti iti. So, being Brahma, being that Sarvajna Brahma, all-knowing Brahma, he experiences all the fulfillment of all desires at, at the same time. Iti, thus. So this Upanishad begins with that one statement, Brahma vidapnoti param, it is like a sutra. Then explanation of the sutra is given in the next statement, Tadesha Bhutta Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And then again a little bit of explanation and Vyakhya that yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman soshnute sarvan kaman saha brahmana vipaschitteti. So in this few sentences, the Upanishad covers the main topic briefly. And the same thing is now explained further elaborately. So the entire this Valli is an explanation of this Brahma Vidapnoti Param, that sutra only. So more about this we will see in our class on Wednesday. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to my pravachan again. You should have Bhagwan Shankaracharya's Bhashya with you, with whatever translation, whatever language you understand. Translations are available. And listen to the pravachan, understand, contemplate. You can also listen to my pravachans, which are available on YouTube, on Bhagavad Gita and other Upanishads. So that will give more and more clarity. Though the topic is one, but all these Upanishads, Gita and all gives more and more clarity to this topic. We come to understand that Brahma as our own self more and more vividly, clearly. And the more we understand it properly, the more we progress on our path. Clarity of understanding itself leads to progress on our spiritual journey. Okay, we'll meet again soon. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Boliye Siya Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.